prices, where the government is moving to avert a looming standoff over the implementation of the new fuel prices. Now, Deputy President William Ruto says the government and the legislature will meet to discuss the way forward on the implementation of a 16% VAT charge on petroleum products. Now, some ODM members of parliament are threatening a censure motion against Treasury Cabinet Secretary, that is Henry Rotich, and countrywide demonstrations over the move. And as Rita Tinina reports, Baringo Senator Gideon Moi wants the government to rethink the move, arguing it will lead to high cost of living, rising inflation, loss of jobs, and slow growth in the economy.
From Kisumu, Eldoret, Mandera to Nairobi, the pain at the pump is already being felt hours after the new fuel prices took effect. The new prices are in line with guidelines by the Energy Regulatory Commission to cater for an additional 16% VAT charge on petroleum products.
Kama sisi wafanyikazi, kila kitu kinapanda na mishahara haiongezwi.
Tutaelekea wapi, tunatoka wapi, tunaenda wapi, hatujui.
And it is not only motorists who are feeling the pinch. Commuters too will have to dig deeper into their pockets, with public service vehicle operators in different parts of the country hiking fares.
Whatever increase you put on the pump prices from VAT is going to work its way down to the end consumer, which is you and me. Cost of living is going to go up.
The new tax has been on paper for the past 5 years. The changes are contained in the Finance Act 2013, which extended implementation for 3 years until 2016, when it was extended for a further 2 years. Last week, Parliament voted to postpone the implementation of VAT for 2 more years until September 2020, citing the already high cost of living. And with the implementation of the new tax just days after the vote by Parliament, some MPs are not taking it kindly. They want Treasury Cabinet Secretary Henry Rotich to rethink the move.
You cannot impose tax that does not have the sanction of Parliament. This is pure impunity and it is abuse of office. So we want to give you these 72 hours to reconsider. Otherwise, we are coming for you. We are coming in millions.
Baringo Senator Gideon Moi in a statement said the ripple effect of the implementation of the tax has far and wide ramifications, which include high cost of living, rising inflation, loss of jobs, and slow growth in the economy. He wants the government and other relevant agencies to come together and explore other ways of raising revenue. And a meeting on the fuel standoff may happen. Deputy President William Ruto, who was speaking in Marsabit, says the government and the legislature will hold talks on the way forward.
Tuwe na mipango ya kutafuta kodi ya kuendesha maendeleo ya Kenya, lakini vile vile tuhakikisha kwamba Wakenya wengine wengi wanyonge wasifinywe, tuhakikisha kwamba there is a balance.
Belgut Member of Parliament Nelson Koech wants the implementation of the new tax discussed by Parliament. Koech wants the leader of majority, Aden Duale, to initiate the process of recalling the National Assembly.
Its motive is insincere, ill-advised and malicious.
The implementation of tax on petroleum products is aimed at helping the government to raise money to meet the 70 billion shilling budget deficit, a move that will rank Kenya on the list of countries with the highest fuel prices in Africa. Rita Tinina, KTN News.
All right, that story by our reporter Rita Tinina leads us to a conversation with Belgut Member of Parliament, that is Nelson Koech, when it comes to the issue of tax, and he now joins us by way of phone. Good morning, Honorable Koech, and thank you so much for joining us here on KTN News Center. First things first, what is your take on ODM Members of Parliament sort of threat to the CS Henry Rotich that they have given him 72 hours or else he faces impeachment? Do you support that statement?
Good morning, Brenda. First of all, I want to say that it was not up to the Treasury CS. This is a VAT Act of 2013. It just simply lapsed on 1st of September. So effectively, it means that it will take effect. Nevertheless, there is the Junaid Mohammed Amendment, which is now before the President, to send it back to Parliament with a memo. So for my colleagues to say that they will go ahead and probably censure the CS Treasury is, I think, dishonest. First, we must look at the whole thing from the dimension of when it started, when it came to Parliament, and what will happen. What we should be doing at the moment is to remedy on already what has been done. We cannot be seen to be, chasing wind all the time. We must focus on one particular area. And our main focus at the moment is, and that is why I wrote a letter through the leader of majority to the Speaker to recall the House from recess so that we can discuss with the executive why the speed at which they used to gazette the new fuel prices. Yet it was very clear on Thursday last week, the mood of the House was that we suspend it for further 2 weeks. But my request to my colleagues, or my letter to recall Parliament, is simply now to have a conversation with Treasury, not only on matters of VAT levy, but even further engaging to find out if it is still prudent as a nation to borrow. The President currently is in China trying to seek 289 billion further loan for construction of a railway line. So a conversation we should be having as a nation is it still viable for this country to go further and engage in a loan borrowing spree? I think that is the conversation we should have as a country at the moment. For 16% VAT, we really hope that the President will accept the amendment by Junaid Mohammed. And if it doesn't, then I think we will need again to sit down with the executive and see where they can tax. We are not saying that we are denying the government to collect revenue. No. What we are saying is that when you tax fuel, when you tax petroleum, this one trickles down to common mwananchi, and that has a huge economic impact in this country. That will, in a very big way, affect the common mwananchi.
Honorable Koech, so why do you think Treasury CS ignored the Parliament's move to have the 16% VAT implemented in 2020?
I think the country, in a way, seems to be submitting to the whims of the international lenders. And on us going requesting to recall, to ask Parliament to come again and sit, is to find out with what arrogance, why all this arrogance by Treasury, not listening to the common mwananchi and going ahead to weigh in on matters of tax. That is actually the question we will be asking Rotich, because they are displaying.
All right. And now, Honorable Koech, do you think President Uhuru Kenyatta will be able to sign the bill that members of Parliament passed in terms of ensuring that the bill is implemented in 2020? Because the President seems to be torn in between implementing the agreement they had with IMF and also looking at the cost of living for Kenyans.
For knowing the President, I think he listens to the common mwananchi. There has been a massive hue and cry over this matter, and I think, and I know that he probably, from where he is, he will listen to the common mwananchi and proceed to sign the amendment by Junaid Mohammed. I truly hope so.
Honorable Koech, lastly, as we finish this conversation, what's next for members of Parliament should the President decide to go with the decision of the CS?
Then, when the President does not sign the amendment, it means that he will send it back to Parliament with a memo. That then will force us to marshal our colleagues to have 2/3 in that House and again vote. And my take is actually to repeal the entire VAT Act of 2013 and get away with this levy on petroleum once and for all. So that will be now our responsibility as members of Parliament and the people, as people who have been voted in by Mwananchi, to now take their interest to Parliament.
Okay, thank you so much, Honorable Nelson Koech, who's Belgut Member of Parliament, just talking to us about his move to, writing a letter to the Leader of National Assembly to recall Parliament to have a discussion when it comes to the implementation of the 16% VAT that was implemented as from 1st of September. That is on Saturday. It has caused a lot of uproar, so we shall continue bringing you the latest updates.